on the mission.
A mission.
Today's the day. Start your ignition. Let's take it away.
All the way to the top.
We gotta rise. Gotta rise. Gotta rise. We gotta rise. Gotta rise. Gotta rise.
Cutting Jamaica's food import bill. It was the mandate, the goal, the objective, the major focus of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries in 2012.
And with the exception of periods of adverse weather conditions, the ministry's execution of its plans helped the sector produce positive growth figures most of the year and maintain its position as a major player in creating jobs. To ground its work, the Agriculture and Fisheries Ministry completed a national food and nutrition security policy for Jamaica.
This policy will outline specific targets for food production to satisfy our nutritional needs.
In order to import less, the country has to be producing more of what it needs. So, the Agriculture Ministry set out in 2012 to help the sector do just that.
A new variety of disease-resistant and higher-yielding bananas and plantings were produced and distributed. To support that, the All-Island Banana Growers Association got a €180,000 grant to build its capacity. Experimentation with new Irish potato varieties also began in the year, as the ministry set out to reduce the $700 million importation of potatoes for the chips and fries market.
We are going to beat the imported products out of the market.
Senator Norman Grant made that declaration as the Jamaica Agricultural Society launched a national red peas planting program in the year. Spices were also targeted for increased production, with 150 acres of ginger and 350 acres of turmeric put under cultivation.
The market is guaranteed for the entire output of the operation or for whatever proportion the investors commit to sell through the export division of this ministry.
Irish potato production was also on the agenda. A $125 million loan facility for farmers was secured through the People's Cooperative Banks and the ministry's glut management program. Then there was Recreate, the re-engineering cocoa rural economy through agro-processing, ecotourism and entrepreneurship project. This project was launched with £350,000 in funding and targets cocoa production in 6 parishes.
Our focus now is to move up the value chain. We ought not to be exporting cocoa beans and then importing expensive chocolate bars.
And a major initiative to increase the production of specific crops and reduce food imports by about $400 million gained traction in the year. The $750 million plan is to establish 8 agro-parks over 3 years.
We're starting now, as we speak, with Spring Plain Ebony Park, which is one area, and Amity Hall, which is the other.
These agro-parks will comprise subdivided economic plots leased predominantly to young farmers and outfitted with critical infrastructure such as irrigation, post-harvest facility, and tractors.
While the plan for sustainable production expansion grew in 2012, the Agriculture Ministry also had to respond to global challenges to Jamaica's import food supplies. Corn. As an immediate response to rising prices on the world market, government partnered with private sector entities to expand its local production. As part of that, Jamaica Broilers agreed to grow 100 acres of corn in the short term, eventually increasing production to 300 acres. The ministry also committed to putting about 200 acres of land under corn cultivation at Amity Hall. Government continued to support the sugar industry in 2012. The ministry signed a $3 billion financing agreement with the European Union to kickstart a massive 4-year sugarcane replanting and modernization exercise. It should increase the amount of land under cultivation from 12 to 20,000 hectares, boosting cane production by 800,000 tons. Another agreement was signed with the EU. This one would provide $8 million to restructure the Sugar Industry Authority. The authority, meanwhile, signed an agreement with Complant Pan-Caribbean Sugar Company Limited, giving it the right to market its own sugar. $1 billion was allocated last year to relocate residents of sugar barracks, upgrade sporting facilities, and install critical infrastructure in cane-producing communities. Meanwhile, more cane farmers can now boast legal access to their farmlands. Among them are 23 St. Catherine, Clarendon, and Westmoreland farmers, who were given 25-year leases in July to operate on 5,400 acres of farmlands owned by the Sugar Company of Jamaica.
It is giving you that kind of security of tenure, which will enable you to really develop and grow in the way you would want to grow.
On the policy end, the ministry committed to spending more than $414 million over the next 3 years to ensure Jamaica meets stringent food importation standards set by the United States. To help exporters comply with the new regulations, the Food Safety Modernization Project was launched.
We're training farmers, right? First of all, you have to start from the origin, right? Where you package your product, what are the conditions there? Our own facilities on Spanish Town Road, the AMC complex, we are spending about $70 million on it right now to upgrade it.
Out in the field, the ministry moved to manage a beet armyworm upsurge and the citrus greening disease, among other pest challenges. Infrastructure strengthening was a priority for the Agriculture Ministry last year, both at the pre- and post-harvest stages. Several farm roads, including the Mason River to Johnsville Road in Clarendon, were upgraded so farmers could transport their goods in comfort.
This kind of encouragement will always help our farmers to up the ante as far as their production goes.
At the post-harvesting level, a new banana ripening facility was opened at Springfield in St. James. Meanwhile, ground was broken in September for the expansion of an agro-processing facility to produce pepper mash at the Hartrust NTA's Ebony Park Academy in Clarendon. The Agriculture Ministry also secured a sorrel harvesting machine capable of harvesting 40 kilograms of sorrel in an hour.
This is something that will encourage our farmers to get back in production, and even in a bigger way, understanding that there is now going to be a way where they can reap their sorrel in a much more efficient way.
To give greater protection to farmers from predial larceny, the ministry relaunched the Agricultural Receipt Book system.
This relaunch demonstrates our commitment to the rule of law and to nip the problem in the bud.
Closely tied to agriculture is the fisheries sector. One of the ministry's most significant interventions in that sector was a $22 million provision from the Fisheries Management Development Fund to support an aquaculture development plan. This plan is also getting support from the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO.
This plan will seek to contribute to Jamaica's goals of ensuring food security, creation of employment, import substitution, and saving foreign exchange.
Towards the end of the year, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries moved swiftly to help farmers who suffered damage as a result of Hurricane Sandy. Some $200 million was reallocated from its budget for this purpose. The ministry enabled farmers to access loans at an interest rate of 5% and facilitated Catastrophe Fund payouts. Fertilizer, insecticides, planting material, and critical equipment were also provided to help the farmers rebound.
So in 2012, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries set out to cut Jamaica's food import bill. Along the way, the ministry and its agencies took steps to ensure food safety, increase production across the field, and respond when a disaster struck. The mission of promoting food security and food safety from the fork in the field to the fork on the dinner table continues.
I'm on the mission. A mission. Today is the day. Start your ignition. Let's take it away. All the way to the top. We gotta